So you came quite early to the fire?
Yes, I was awoken by sirens and members of the public screaming at approximately about 12:15 at midnight as my phone was ringing. Family members were worried. I quickly got dressed, made myself, ran out to the main road on Latimer Road, did a first right, and I was faced with Grenfell Tower. The fire was quite small to start off with. There was a gentleman standing in and amongst the crowd, stating that that was his flat that was on fire and that a refrigerator had blown up. Like I said, very small fire. Within minutes, from the left and from the right and from the above, it just spread so rapidly, and then you couldn't help but notice people frantically banging on the windows. The windows were slightly ajar. I think there's a safety clip on the windows where you can't really open them fully. And people were just begging for help. Myself and loads of other people that were standing there were reassuring people, telling them that, you know, help was on the way. We could hear help, but because of the poor access, nobody was able to access the road from either way. And there's about 3 or 4 different routes surrounding Grenfell Tower. And then at one point during those few minutes, a lady appeared at the window, gesturing, body language. From what she was saying, "I'm about to throw my baby, please catch the baby." And the baby, I think, was wrapped in some sort of bed sheet blanket, and she threw the baby as the baby came down. And this was about approximately from the 9th or 10th floor. A member of the public, a gentleman, ran forward and miraculously grabbed the baby. And like I said, above you, from the left, from the right, mostly kids. It was harrowing, torturing screams for help, young kids. And I could also, where the fire was now spreading, people were reaching out from the front window, trying to grasp a bit of fresh air, trying to breathe. They looked like they were struggling. And there were, at one point, one window, about 4 or 5 heads all squeezing their heads through. It was honestly like a horror movie unfolding in front of us.
Mm-hmm. Very affected by it. That's an amazing account, but at the same time it must have been awful to watch.
Very awful to watch. And at one point I ran back home and my husband came out and joined me with my young kids, and my young kids were watched it, and they are all very tormented by what they saw. And you know, they were asking questions, why wasn't anybody helping? And we did. We came out, you know, people that lived on the block and they know the layout of the estate. We tried to, you know, point them in the right direction, shortcuts maybe where they could access the building a bit more. But to be honest, minutes turned into hours, and this was literally from 12:20 until about 4 a.m. They were struggling to access that building, and in those minutes and hours, like I said, it was like an inferno all around, surrounded above and under, and all you could hear was high-pitched screams for help, banging. And at one point, I remember mattresses were being thrown out. I don't know whether people were trying to limit the intensity of the fire, but people were beyond themselves. Literally, they could see death in front of them, and they were trying to prevent that. And we felt helpless watching that, obviously, on the ground. It was heartbreaking to see.